Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is BestInSlot. I'm very excited. BestInSlot here to showcase the brand new Enhanced Terrain Tools mod by Harlequin's Ego. With the advent of the second wave of Jurassic World Evolution modding, we've had Expanded Islands, which, by the way, the Expanded Islands mod that I showcased the other day now works completely, so you can download it safely, use it in your parks, load your saves, etc. But what's the point in having Expanded Islands if you can't do crazy things with those islands? And thanks to the new tools, we can do just that. It basically removed the limitations on making pits, on making mountains, on brush sizes, and stuff like that to an extent. So I'll show you what I mean. I want to talk very briefly about the mod as well. So as you can see in nature, instead of these set buttons, we now have a sliding scale of intensity and radius. So we start down here with a little teeny tiny baby brush. It basically just spawns macaws more than anything else, or we can go bam and have a massive forest brush, which is going to make things just so much quicker than it ever was in the past. And this of course counts for your grassland, it counts for your water as well. The radius on the water brush is now absolutely humongous, or absolutely tiny. We can do much more intricate designs now. There you go, intricate. Think you'll all agree. Smiley face. And that's all very exciting. It really is. That's really cool. That's going to see a lot of use in your mods. Well, in your parks, I should say. But the exciting stuff comes from the third button here, because these have got the same tools. So, slope intensity. So, slope. Yeah, you need slope. Slope basically just means how pointed is your mountain going to be. So we want to max out slope. We're going to keep the radius as it is. There's our intensity at max. I'm just going to click. So you remember, you could probably make something like that in Jurassic World Evolution, but at this point, if you tried to raise that, what it would do is it'd expand the radius of the mountain outwards, because the game has a very set level of pointedness. I don't know how else to describe it, but basically, you couldn't really build mountains as opposed to, you know, big hills, essentially, because they always had a very gradual slope. No more is that a problem, as you will now see. Am I gonna go too crazy? Because I do have a crazy example, but I say not too crazy, but that's what I made, so I think that counts as crazy. It's absolutely incredible. The creative control we've been given via this tool is insane. And again, the same thing. Big radius. And you can just hold it. And 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 you just get these massive mountains. Now, they don't look necessarily realistic at this point in time. What I found is, kind of like in Planet Zoo, oddly enough, if you build a wider, slightly more flat mountain area, this is my experience so far with the mod, and then you attack it with the flatten tool with like a smaller, it's not going to work on this big boy obviously, but if you attack the larger ones like this with the flatten tool and kind of jiggle it around and move it and do things, you can make slightly better mountain shapes, I would say. Like, that's already getting in the right sort of direction. It gives it a little bit of natural cragginess and stuff like that, and of course you can go in then paint it with your new rock tool as well, and give yourself some really cool mountains. So very, very exciting. Of course, this goes the other way as well, so we can go back on here, we can lower, and we can lower, and we can lower. We can pause briefly to cut my sneeze out of the video, and then we can lower, and we can lower, and we can lower, and we can lower. The lowering does go a little bit crazy. It can't go deep forever. It kind of like breaks through the game world, basically. But then you can take that and you can flatten. It's not going to be the quickest process in the world, but you can do it. If you wanted to build, I didn't even think about that. If you wanted to build like a Jurassic World down here in the dark, we could totally do that. Look at it down here, spooky as anything. I wonder if my lights light the place up. Let's check that out really quickly. I'm excited. Lots of new things to discover. Where are the lights? Oh, they're in Jurassic Park. God damn it. Anyway, it's very cool. I've put like a little tester example park just to show some of the extremes of this and give you a little monorail tour in the process. No dinosaurs or anything, just showcasing how the tool works. I do want to say before we move on though, when you go to download this mod, you'll get two versions of it. You'll get an injectable version, which basically puts the mod into your basal game file, into your main.ovl, or you'll get a downloadable one, which will replace your main.ovl with Harlequin Ego's version, which will basically install the mod. Now, the latter version is much easier. All you're doing is replacing a single file. The problem is, if you use another mod that also replaces the OVL, then you won't be able to use both at the same time. Now, at the moment, that's not a massive concern, but I'd say the main competition for that is the Mixed Eras mod, which I know a lot of you use. It lets you use Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic Park stuff in the same save file. It's a really cool mod. And you wouldn't be able to use both at the same time without doing some injection. Now, I've not really messed around with injection, but I'm pretty sure I know how to do it. So, what I would recommend for now, if you don't know how to do it, and you can't find a guide online or whatever, just go ahead and install the mod as per normal, and just sort of mess around with this mod on its own, essentially. I will try to get a video out at some point showing you how to inject the OVL file, and therefore you'll be able to run all your mods at the same time. But this is one of those mods now, officially, this and the the bigger park mod, that you should just have on all the time. There's really no reason not to, because it just makes the game objectively better. If you don't want to use the tools, you don't have to, but I mean, look at that! That's awesome! They're there if you want them. That's great. I'm so excited. So excited. Right, I'm going to show you the rest of the video, but I'll see you in a sec. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the time-honoured tradition of Art Attack, here's something I made earlier, just trying to showcase what kind of things you could build with, honestly, about 2 minutes using these new terrain tools. The first thing is this sunken, moist valley, basically, a proper valley. We could put some rocks at the side as well to kind of decorate it a little bit more, but just sinking the ground down, filling it in with the water tool, and you get this really cool sunken valley kind of effect. Now, a lot of people watching this will have also been curious, how deep and how high can these terrain tools go? And that's exactly what I'm going to show you next. I thought using the monorail to showcase this would be a pretty cool way of doing so. So we're going to head down now to the beach portion of the park and the pit. Even just being able to, ignoring the terrain tools, just this in combination with the expanded map mods is incredible. The creative control we have now is amazing. This, however, is terrifying. As someone who isn't big with heights, the approach to the pit is fairly spooky. Now, I couldn't get the monorail as deep down in the pit as I maybe would have liked. I think if I'd spent a bit more time or made the pit bigger, we could have done so. Love that the monorail can go through the water, by the way. That's going to be very cool. We might be able to take it right out into the ocean. But the pit has a nice fence around the outside, because, it's a pit. As we've all seen with Chris Pratt, it's very easy to fall and end up living inside a pit. And I think this could have gone even deeper, but I did start to get some weird visual effects. But let's just head around the corner. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, the bottom of the pit kind of reveals the world, essentially. The game doesn't quite handle the bottom of the pit, although you can't see it from here anyway. But this is a deep old pit right here. You could build like a mining town, or like a a gold mine or something like that, and integrate that into your park design. We can just do so much more with these tools. Really, the main thing for me is the mountains, because the way you could never build proper mountains, you could only ever build sort of big hills, always really annoyed me. We're going to change that up now. So we've gone through the pit. There you go. I'll show you quickly via the main camera in a second. But as you may be able to just glance in the corner there before I quickly swing away, we're also going to head up a pretty damn big hill. And there she is. Isn't she an absolute beaut? Again, I think this could have gone taller. But in order to get the monorail to actually go over the top of it, which, the monorail is struggling a little bit. I think that's fairly understandable, that the monorail is not having the easiest time in the world of gripping to such a bizarre building, or such a bizarre mountain that it wasn't made for. But I am very excited to climb this thing. That's very, very cool. We could build nearly like actual roller coasters. I mean, look at it. Isn't that incredible? It makes me really excited to build a park, which I haven't been in quite a long time. Between this and the expanded map mod, which has been fixed, by the way. I should have mentioned that at the start of the video, but has been fixed to now work with your save files and stuff like that. Basically, our creative control has doubled in terms of our map making, if not even more, honestly. It's incredible. It really is. And, up we go. This is like the start of a roller coaster, which is always the worst part, and I'm not great with it, but everyone hold on, and then hands up in the air. Oh, woo, hello. Look at that! That is so cool. What a view that we never get. Whee! It actually feels quite fast. doesn't it? Meow! It actually does. Oh my god, that felt like a roller coaster. Oh, I love it. It evens out much too quickly. It doesn't have like momentum per se. It seems to just have speed based on the angle at the time, but still. Okay. Oh, hello. There's our... Well, we very rarely see those. Just in case you haven't seen those, I'll grab them quickly, actually. These are rare enough that... Oh, there they are. Yeah, these are pretty rare. They'll fly across the map every now and again. These got added in the Return to Jurassic Park update. The Pteranodons. They only spawn like once every half an hour or something like that, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, so there you go. So I really like this valley effect. You can see how, I mean, it might not look like a big deal compared to everything else, but look at how deep it is compared to the entrance monorail station. It's very, very, very deep. And, you know, that's then compared to the beach over here. It's about the same level. I've got the pit over there doing its big pit kind of things. And we've got, obviously, our big old mountain over here on the right-hand side. And it's just... like, obviously, this is not the park you would build, but the ability to do things like this is really, really exciting. Big shout-out to Ego. Big shout-out to Anaki. Basically, big shout-out to everyone who's been involved in this... Bloody Nora, I can't speak today. I cut that twice. Big shout-out to everyone who's been involved in this process, because this is... it's like a new life for the game, which... you know, at the end of the day, we've got plenty of DLC. Frontier have moved on to new things. That's totally understandable. And now it's up to the mod community to keep the game going. Hopefully for a long, long time, like we saw in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, which has died down a bit now, I would say, but and mainly because of Evolution, but for 20 years, got lots of love and support, which is really cool as well. So, yeah, big shout out to all those. I will link the mods down below if you want to check them out for yourselves. And that is about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep in mind everything I said at the start about how you actually use these mods. You know, you have to inject them and or replace certain things, blah, blah, blah. I'll talk about that in a minute. I haven't done the first part of this video yet, which is very confusing for me, but yeah, very, very exciting. We're going to start a new park build, hopefully this week, because I can't resist with these new tools in hand. So if you have any ideas for that park, what would you like to see? Something that utilises height or depth really well, do let me know in the comment section down below. I just want to... It is so nuts that we can do this. So incredibly nuts that we can do this. Oh, it's even deeper, actually. It's just nuts. I don't know what else to say. It's crazy. Oh, God. Right. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Follow my Jurassic World Evolution Mod Spotlight playlist. And stick around as well for, as I say, hopefully a new series, creative series, based on these tools in particular. And do go check out the mod, which I'll link in the description down below as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.